gonna be a little different to my standard breakfast, and the main reason for that is because I'm going to be making my own homemade oat milk. This is a machine. This is a machine by Milky Plant. This is how excited I am, I can't even speak. And it basically makes you homemade plant milk. Any plant milk you want, so it doesn't have to be oat. It could be almond, it could be cashew, it could be me trying to think of other milks you can make, but basically any plant milk you can think of, Milky Plant can make it. Milky Plant is kindly sponsoring today's video, so thank you so much, and I'm beyond excited to give this a go. I will be making my porridge with it this morning. I've always wanted to make my own oat milk because I am actually an oat milk addict. Christian was clearing out my store-bought oat milk the other day and he was like, you are actually an addict. But of course, in store-bought oat milk, it's not always the best. They do put preservatives and other things in there that is just not as clean as you would by using just oats and water, which is what we will be doing in this machine. So let's unbox this, see what it's all about, and see how it performs.
Inside the Milky Plant box, you'll find everything you need to make the perfect homemade plant milk of your choice. Of course, you have the machine itself, and along with it come these super cute stickers that you can either add to your machine or anywhere else you wish. It also comes with a QR code that leads you directly to a video on how to use the machine, which is very helpful. Also cleaning tips and just a lot more information. You also get a small measuring cup that lets you know exactly how much you should add of your oats or seeds or nuts, whatever you wish to use. And of course, you get a bottle to collect your plant milk in. It's also made of glass, which is perfect. So before starting, make sure to wash all of the compartments of the machine and then fill up the water tank to either the minimum or maximum line. Then it's time to add your milk source. I obviously used oats, but you can use whatever you wish. The little measuring cup helps so much to know how much you need to put in. There's also a max line inside the blender part on top, so you really can't go wrong. Afterwards, all you need to do is place your bottle underneath and press the start button. It'll take a minute or so, but you'll quickly start seeing the milk pouring out and filling up the bottle perfectly. It is so satisfying to watch this happening. Another cool thing about the Milky Plant machine is that you can use the leftover pulp to make granola bars or cookies or simply just for baking. So there is no waste whatsoever.
That has to be by far the coolest thing I've ever done or ever experienced. I was a little concerned at first because it was making a lot of noises and I just wasn't sure if I'd set it up correctly, although it is so easy and takes like 0 minutes. But still, it's me, so I was like, maybe I've messed it up. After like a couple of minutes, bam, the milk was done. Look at it, it's so cute, and you can make fresh daily oat milk every single morning if you wanted to because it's that easy. Before I make porridge with this, I actually want to just do a taste test on its own completely. I just want to know. Smells oaty, okay. Tastes pretty good. You can taste how clean it is because it's literally oats and water. This is all I had to use of oats, and I used filtered tap water. So the amount of money you'd be saving on plant milk is insane. Obviously, if you choose to do almond or any other kind of nut, it might be a little pricier, but in the end, you're still 100% saving money.
Porridge is my absolute go-to meal for breakfast these days. I am so obsessed. It's just so easy to make, yet filling and super healthy. All you need are fine oats and some oat milk. Then I cook it briefly on a low heat whilst also adding some vegan protein powder. I do this to obviously get some proteins in, but it also adds some sweetness to the oats and a nice chocolatey peanut flavor. This one's from No Way. They are a fully vegan brand and offer so many crazy flavors, so make sure to check them out. I then pour the oats into a bowl and spice them up with some fruit, seeds, and crushed chocolate usually, and some nuts. I usually also add peanut butter, obviously, but sadly I didn't have any that day, so yeah, very sad times.
I've literally just had to pop on some shorts because it is so unbelievably hot. Like, where did this weather come from? I think it's about 28 degrees at the moment, which is amazing. I'm not complaining. It's just, I was not expecting. It is time for some lunch. And for lunch, I'm very excited because I'm going to be making some wraps. And to be honest, these are such go-to, easy to make, quick. You don't really have to overthink about anything. And they're so delicious. I will be doing a tofu and grilled veggie avocado wrap. I will show you how to make it in a minute, but yes, I will be using some red pepper, zucchini, and onion, which I will just like toss in a pan for a few minutes. Then I will just cook the tofu for a few minutes as well. I mean, it's pretty much cooked. You don't really have to cook tofu, but I like to spice it up with some soy sauce and garlic. And finally, I will make some guac, as well as I'm gonna use some vegan cheese. I just found this in Aldi literally just now, and I thought I'd give it a go. It looks kind of exciting. I'm not sure how I plan on putting it in the wrap. Maybe just like cutting it into slices and seeing what happens, but let's get on it.
These wraps are incredibly easy to make and take only like 10 minutes, if that. All I do is chop up some of my fave veggies, or whatever I have left over in the fridge, to be honest, into strips and cook them in a pan with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and I usually like to add some chili flakes. And I cook them until everything is partly soft. I still like to keep the veggies crunchy and not take the whole life out of them. I then cut up half a tofu into small squares and I toss that in a pan for a few minutes with some soy sauce. Lastly, I make some guacamole, which is usually my favorite step, but actually the avocado was so bad this time. It was super hard, and so I had to make a very chunky and hard guac, which, you know, isn't the nicest, but it'll do. Putting it all together is my favorite part because it means it's almost time to eat it. There isn't a specific method to do this, to be honest. It's just that the wrapping part is really important. So you have to make sure to fold in the bottom first and then the sides inwards so that nothing falls out. You can also add sauces and whatever else you wish, but this was fine for me.
That was honestly much needed. I feel so much better. I've been sitting way too long today, so like a half an hour moving my body situation has been so nice. So I did a 15-minute Pilates and then I did a 15-minute full body stretch. So I feel great. And Archer joined me. Didn't you, handsome? Archer? Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. He did. So I'm gonna get on with dinner now. I will be making a chickpea curry, which is one of my absolute go-to favorite meals to make. I've posted it before, I think on Instagram, so you may be familiar with it. It requires barely any ingredients. It's very fast to make. It's getting a little windy. Hope it's not too loud for you guys. Really need to buy a microphone. I feel like that's on my to-do list of things to buy. Although we're buying a lot now for the apartment, so I need to make sure I prioritize the right things. Anyway, long story short, let's make a lovely chickpea curry.
I make this chickpea curry probably at least once a week. It's for sure a quick go-to for me. As I was cooking just for myself this evening, I made only one portion of rice, and that resulted in about half a cup of rice to 1 cup of water. In the meantime, I prep the curry. I start by chopping up an onion into tiny pieces, and I do the same with a fresh piece of ginger. Make sure the pieces are very tiny, as you don't want chunks later in the dish. Don't forget the ginger. It's literally what makes the dish. I've tried without it, and it's not the same. Add the onion and ginger to a pan with some oil and stir for a few minutes until slightly softened. Then I add chickpeas. I used canned chickpeas as I find it fastest and easiest, but of course feel free to do this with all fresh ingredients if you prefer. If you're using canned chickpeas like I did, then just make sure to drain the liquid, and you can actually keep it if you wish, as you can use it as aquafaba and make really cool desserts with it. Then make sure to wash the chickpeas thoroughly until no foam comes out of them. This step is really important as it helps to prevent bloating. Add the chickpeas to the pan can, as well as plenty of spices. Now, I don't use measurements here as I just like to eyeball it and keep tasting the dish to make sure it's to my liking. So I suggest you just do the same. I use turmeric, paprika, cumin, curry powder, tikka masala, salt, pepper, and chili, of course. And after you have mixed all of this together, then pour in a can of chopped tomatoes and cook everything for a few minutes. Lastly, I add in a can of full fat coconut milk, and I usually leave around a quarter of the jar so that the mixture doesn't become too liquid. The reason I use full fat is because it's thicker in consistency and just makes a nicer curry. Let that simmer for around 20-ish minutes or until the mixture is less liquid and more creamy. You will feel this when you're stirring, and you have to keep stirring, so make sure you keep an eye on it. Serve it on top of your rice and you're good to go. I'm obsessed with this dish because it's crazy easy to make and it's so delicious. Plus, if I'm eating alone, I always have leftovers, so I store that away and it tastes even better the next day. Oh, that was so delicious, you guys. Oh my gosh, I make this meal so often, and sometimes, I mean, it's always good, but sometimes it's like extra good, and I don't know what it is. As I said, spice-wise, I just throw it all in, so I don't actually like measure things. I just kind of go with the flow and keep tasting, keep adding, and then stop when I'm satisfied. And the last thing that I'm gonna eat today for a little cheeky dessert is a little ice cream, because it's so hot right now. It's 30 degrees, so, well, not right now, it's not 30, but today it was 30, but it's still very hot for an evening. This is the almond vegan magnum. Really, really delicious. I don't know if they do any other kind of flavors, but the almond one is a classic, and it always comes in a vegan version, at least in Germany. I don't know about anywhere else in the world. Not sure how accessible these are, but these are very good. So if you ever come to Germany, definitely try one. Anyway, I'm gonna eat that up now and watch some Netflix probably. Just chill, take it easy. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know, because I love making this kind of content. I really want to start making more vegan related content for you guys because I love cooking. And now that I have this kitchen, it is an absolute pleasure. Like, it is actually just so much fun. I love it. Like the video to let me know that you liked it, or leave a comment, anything. It's always so nice to read comments from you guys. I absolutely appreciate the support so much, and it never goes unnoticed. So thank you so much for those of you who are always commenting and liking and engaging and enjoying my videos. That makes me so, so happy. I love making them, so I'm glad you like watching them. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat my little ice cream. See you in my next video very soon. And subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned. You know, just the huge. All right, I'm gonna eat this and like shut up now, so bye.